Hey there, Rimmon fans. Welcome to this year's first edition of Trudel's Take, brought to you by Health Alliance. I'm Jason Rupp, joined once again, and as always, by Rimmon head coach John Guy Trudel. Oh, Guy, congratulations on the start of the season. Not obviously the start you would have liked, dropping 2 games to Quad City, but what were some of the positives you saw from your group against the Storm that you hope to build on moving forward?
Well, I'd say the second and third period of the final game on Saturday, we started kind of playing the Riverman way. We were really aggressive on the forecheck, a lot of recoveries, use our 5-man rotations really well, had a lot of ozone time, did pretty well on the power play, even though we only scored one. I think there's a lot of positive coming into the season. Again, when you lose a lot of skill, we lost our the Marcells and the Ladleys and a lot of skill, the Ernies and all those. Yeah, I mean, the guys we had. So you try to replace them, and it's very hard to replace. So you have to manufacture goals, especially at the beginning of the year when we only really had 3 days of kind of our the way we want to do things, the way our structure works, and then we had guys coming in the last day before our game. So it's always tough. But I know it sounds bad, but I was really pleased with a lot of things I saw and a lot of great building blocks that we can, just do things with. And I think I always call the first 2 games win or lose of the season exhibition games because
Right.
you want to kind of see who can play, in the right situation. And a lot of it was on me also. When you lose 2 games, and I felt like a lot of guys I still didn't know of. I didn't put them in the right position to start. But as we went on the weekend, you kind of understand players a little bit better and what they're going to do well. And for coaches, that's what you try to do. You want to put them in a great situation to succeed. And I felt like the second and third period, we were really starting to show our real colors.
You've told us a couple times in pregame interviews that you saw those first 2 games as crucial, getting ammunition for you. Can you elaborate a little bit more about that? What do you mean when you refer to as 2 games getting ammunition for you?
Well, for a coach, ammunition to me is your video.
Right.
So you
Okay.
and video doesn't lie, and I love. I think I spent 7-8 hours on Sunday. I love doing video and actually seeing who has detail, who has IQ, who's teachable, who's
Yeah.
who am I gonna struggle with, and you just see details after details, and then you can show them. So they can't, video doesn't lie. I can show them, say, listen, this is not what we want. This is what we want, and that's why this week and probably for the next 2-3 weeks, videos. We have a schedule, we have an itinerary, but there will be video every single day to make sure we go. We call it the Big Eight and our special teams and the face off. So we have a lot to learn, but I saw a lot of good things, like I said, on clips that there's a lot that I can build around, and it's a lot of fun for a coach to kind of all those new faces put them in the right situations.
Does it also help you to get ammunition on the other team as well? Because Quad City is a team we're going to be seeing a lot of this year.
Yeah, it really does. But we all knew we know what Quad City's strengths are.
Hmm.
And they showed it. They're not only do they have most of their team back, but they also added 3, 4 really big time offensive players to that attack. So we know they're faster than neutral zone. We know their strengths, and of course, I always say at the beginning of the year is probably 90% of what we do, 10% of pre-scout on the other team.
Yep.
And as the season builds on, and like you said, the more video you get, the more tendencies you see, the more you can build your pre-scout a little bit more in detail. So for us right now, we're going to focus on us, but yes, it always helps to see other teams also.
Certainly. So now, when you look at this Peoria Riverman team, what do you think is its strength so far? Or is it still a little too early for that?
It's starting to come together even this week in practice. I think we're going to be able to play faster than last year.
Okay.
I just think that we're going to have to manufacture goals in different ways. I think we don't have the pure shooters, the Marcells, the Ernie with his hard shot, and we don't have the pure shooters. But I do believe we have a lot of guys with hockey sense that understand that in hockey there's not only one way to score, there's a lot of different ways, and if we just do our jobs, we'll be just fine. So I am excited about our team. I think we have great pieces, and today we added another one. So I think we're starting to be deep, not only on the back end but on the front end also. And like I said, I think faster, we'll play faster, but I think we'll have to do the little things to manufacture more goals.
I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Tyler Barrow getting his first goal as a Peoria Riverman. He looked strong out there on the ice in Saturday's home opener. What do you see out of him that really excites you about his potential further on down the line?
Well, he's gifted offensively, and a little bit like Bearsy, he's a puck possession type of guy, which we focus a lot on on our advanced stats here in Peoria, puck possession is a key, especially in the offensive zone, and he's one of those guys, and he understands the pressure is coming at him.
Yep.
So he's able to get that puck possession and do the right thing to cut back or 90 degree and all those little things that puck possession guys kind of realize. And why do we realize it? Because their heads up and they're able to make quicker reads than most guys, and that's what I love about him. And he wants the puck. He wants, and I always say, Patrick Kane, you look at a Patrick Kane and he's got a few deficiencies in his game defensively, but he's a guy that wants a puck and he wants to score a big goal. And I think Tyler Barrow is that type of player. He loves the puck in his hands on a game on the line, a little bit like Bearsy, a little bit like Hags. Those guys want to be in those big moments. And we just added another great offensive guy to our team.
Certainly so. And now, does Barrow have a short stick or a long stick? Because I know we were talking a little bit earlier before we got on the air about the debate between long sticks and short sticks for forwards. Like, for example, I'm sure when you and I are coming up, it was like you want a stick that comes up to your nose. Nowadays, you're seeing something a little bit different. Where's the debate at that, and how do guys make that distinction between using a short and long stick when you're playing forward?
Well, that started, I was lucky to watch Alex Hicks. He's the assistant coach at Arizona State's conference, and he was talking about it. And he had some really good points because over the years, even with my youth hockey team, I'm an advocate of short stick. I mean, I played with a stick to my chest. I believe one, stick handling is way better. I believe you use your arms a lot better to protect the puck also in your hips because the puck's always inside your feet. I believe that, over the years, I've seen every great player from Gretzky to Lemieux to Crosby, all those, always had short stick. And there's so many advantages to it. And I believe not only forwards, I believe if you have your knees bent and you're in the right posture, really that 2 inch longer on your stick, is it really going to make a difference if you're able to bend yourself and you have the right flexibility and everything else? And then short stick is guaranteed you have better hands. And then what I love also is when you get to pro hockey, a lot of your shots are going to take from tight areas. And with a shorter stick, you're able to move your shot from inside your feet or everybody else or anywhere else. When you see a defender in front of you, you can change your angle of your shot a lot easier with a short stick, and you can shoot from in front of you. And your hands, for some reason, are always in front of you with a short stick because it has to touch the ice. So to me, there's a lot of advantage. I know it's hard. You can't teach old dogs new tricks. But for me, all my life, even a kid I coached, Philly, I made him cut his stick, and now all of a sudden he's got the puck the whole game and he's able to play with it instead of being stuck all the time in himself. So again, it's not for everybody, but I do believe in short sticks. I am a believer. I've been a believer all my life, and I've been trying to change a lot of guys over my life.
But is the transition from, say, a long stick school, let's just put it that way, to a short stick school, is that more a change of the game or just a change in preference styles and offensive philosophy? The game's become more offensive as opposed to, say, maybe 10, 20 years ago, maybe it was a bit more defensive.
It is. I think that's where it started, actually. When it started being defensive, I think everybody wanted their kids, youth hockey, junior programs. I know when I got to pro, they wanted me to have a longer stick, and then I tried, but for me, it made no sense. Like if I bend my knees enough or I'm in a strong posture, I can still reach the puck no matter what. So really that 2 inches, 3 inches really didn't make a difference to me, but I felt way comfortable when I get a puck. I could receive the puck in front of me, behind me with a short stick. It's a lot easier to, manipulate the puck and receive the puck. So for me, it never made sense. But I know a lot of people are advocates of long sticks. I believe in feeling really comfortable with the puck because that's what the game is now. It's about puck possession. You want to be comfortable. You want to be able to have it in your feet if it's time to protect it. You want to have your hands in front of you. So I don't know. I wish all my players would just try it. But again, it's hard to teach the old dog at the pro level new tricks.
Certainly so. Can I certainly understand that? Like I struggle to see like a Cody Dion using a short stick.
Yeah. And again, it's just it's a preference thing, but I think you would get used to it, but yes, you are going to bend your knees a lot more.
Yeah.
You're going to be in a right posture, which you should be anyways. But again, that debate could go on for days and days, depending on what side of the coin you are. So let's stop it at that. And I told you what I'm an advocate for, but other guys can find good points on the other way.
I'm sure I have no dog in the fight, to be honest. I grew up a long stick, but I see the benefits of both, and I don't play competitively anymore, so I don't really have a dog in the fight. Let's switch gears a little bit, Guy. It's easy for a team to get discouraged after 2 back-to-back losses to your rival. But folks forget, Peoria last year dropped the first 2 games against Quad City, and including their first ever regulation win in this building last year. And we all know how that one ended up. there should be no panic in this team. How do you keep the guys make and reassure those guys like, hey, there's no panic. It's all part of the building process.
Well, I think it's the way you attack your week, you attack your daily, your
Hmm.
daily jobs, and for us, we understood that we got a short camp. We didn't have a lot of numbers to start, so our
Right.
first 3 days we just worked on individual details,
Right.
and then over the years I had injuries with a lot of groins and hip flexors, so we didn't want to go all out. So it was about managing training camp, a 7 day training camp where you don't have a lot of numbers, and we understood also that the first 2 games would be hard. But again, what I saw that pleased me a lot is my leadership started coming on Saturday on the bench, being loud, being the way we want to be. And for me in Peoria, that's the type of players I want. I always say a lot of players work so hard during the week to kind of be average on the weekend. For us, we enjoy our weekends. We can't wait for the game. We can't wait to go to war together. And
Hmm.
I saw that on Saturday morning. The boys were, pulling for each other and starting to go. And I mean, I don't know why you would panic at 2 games and after 7 days of skating. So we have a lot of veterans here also that don't skate much in the summer. So at this level, some guys have to get jobs, so they don't have a chance to skate a lot. So it takes a few weeks, and I'm not too worried at all. I feel really fortunate with the team I have right now. So we're just gonna keep building. And I know for fans it's disappointing, but for us in the locker room, we have a big smile right now, and we're happy because we see a lot of progress every single day.
Absolutely. That's great to hear because Evansville's coming right to Peoria for their first trip here. Evansville just coming off a win against Vermilion County. Before we get to previewing that series, I do have one other question for you, Guy, about last weekend, then we'll drop it. The pregame ceremony.
Mhm.
You looked like you were on cloud nine out there, seeing some of the veterans from that team
Yep.
who are no longer playing with the Rivermen and obviously welcoming back the guys who are still on the current roster. Just describe your emotion for that night and what it meant to you and your players.
I'll explain it really quick. I remember when I was juniors, and my coach kept saying that, when you're young, I don't think your brain is developed enough to understand a lot of that information.
Mhm.
But once you grow a little older, you kind of realize the things he said made a lot of sense. And I
Yeah.
always remember that year we won the cup. The whole year was preaching that if we want to walk together for the rest of our lives, you have to win a championship. And that's what championships do, because I played with a lot of guys over my years. I don't remember their
Mhm.
names. I don't remember anything because we didn't win it together.
Right.
But I was lucky enough to be on 3 championship teams, and I do remember every single player's name and every player on that team. If we'd have a reunion, we're all there, and
Yep.
we became a really close team. And for me, that's what made my night is. The Brendan Rumble, I was not expecting to be here, and the Ernies and the Cody Dion came down, and all those guys. And we have a bond, and the Chris Almans, we have a bond that's where we left our legacy here
Yeah.
in Peoria. So that bond will never be broken. And as a coach, I think getting older, they call it experience. I realize how important players are to me. I
Mhm.
realize that what they do on a daily base is not an easy thing, and
Mhm.
I'm appreciative of them. So seeing their faces back and everything they did for not only me, the team, but the city of Peoria, I think it was just so much fun to see their faces. And when they saw the ring, and I think the ring didn't give it justice in the newspaper. I think
Yeah.
seeing it live, it's something pretty special. So just seeing their face, their joy, seeing the guys back together in the locker room, and that's what it's all about. And that's what we're trying to build here with the new guys. We want to make sure they understand that if we want to walk, together
Yeah.
forever, the only way to do that is to win. Because a lot of times, if you don't, you forget a lot of those teammates you had.
Absolutely. And like you said, you remember all those guys. I mean, we had Shane Hudson, former athletics trainer, come down here.
Yeah.
I embraced him. He was in the verge of he was shedding tears. He
Mhm.
put me in the verge of crying because
Mhm.
that was my roommate
Yep.
on the road.
Yeah, and
And
then
you felt
Cam, we
that
had
bond.
Cam,
Cam
Mike
back as
Livenbeck,
well.
and then you had even Mr. Grissom. Woody
Yep.
was here to
LA.
accept the ring
Got
on
Mr.
behalf of
LA's
LA.
dad.
Like,
Yep.
how cool is that? You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And when I saw Mr. Grissom, I just thought of LA right away. Just great people, and
Hmm.
that's why I think we were champions last year. Just great people that worked together and wanted to get better, and they really cared about each other's success, and that's when you do have success.
As it says on the door, good people make great rivermen.
Absolutely.
Last question for you, Guy. Obviously, coming into this weekend, Evansville on Friday and Saturday night. It will be a magnet schedule giveaway for the first 1,000 fans, courtesy of the O'Brien team, and military camo jersey night on Saturday, courtesy of Smart Local One. Guy, Evansville is a team that's coming off 2 back-to-back wins. You're a team coming off 2 back-to-back losses. when you have a little bit of that disparity, what's the most important key when facing a hot team in order to come off to a hot start?
Well, you just said it. Your hot start. You want to take the lead. You want to feel good about yourself at being in the game, and we didn't. We didn't get a chance to do that yet. We got to take that lead and feel good, and then after that, just keep going. For us, I told you it's more about us right now. Of
Yep.
course, we're going to have a little pre-scout on Evansville, but we just want to keep our details going in practice, and I feel a lot better entering this weekend than I did last weekend because of not only because of what I saw last weekend at the end of the weekend, but also the last 2-3 days of practice. We're starting to look good. We're starting to look like a hockey team, and it takes a while. I don't blame the guys. Even the guys that skated, you play summer hockey.
Yeah.
You have to get all those bad habits out of the way and start playing real hockey. And real hockey hurts because you have to be
Yep.
in those dirty areas. And that's what's the hardest part. I always say coming back to battling and have a body on you the whole time, and it's hard. And
Mhm.
and we know what we were lacking, and that's what we've been working on. We're going to keep working on it. But so there's no panic here. The boys are happy, and I'm excited to see them this weekend.
Oh, we're excited to see you guys this weekend. Again, both games Friday, Saturday night, 7:15 p.m. here at Carver Arena. Guy, thanks so much for your time. Look forward to seeing you on game
First
day.
one of the year, buddy.
First
eh?
one,
You did
yeah.
good. You did good. You're getting better with age.
I could say the same about you, but this has been your Trudel Steak brought to you by Health Alliance. For Ruben head coach John Trudel, I'm Jason Rupp. We'll see you next week.